Hello and welcome to a Forest Alliance Forever ladder match. This is Tagada versus JaggedAppliance on Desert Planet 2. Tagada on the bottom left corner with Red Cybrin. JaggedAppliance on the top right corner with Blue Seraphim. Now Desert Planet 2 is a 10 by 10 map, classic ladder map. There are a couple expansions on both sides and 4 choke points running down diagonally across the middle of the map. Some reclaim in the middle, but not substantial. A lot of the reclaim is here at the core base and at the expansions. So these players got to get a small eco boost at the outset of the game. A common build here is double air factory towards the start of the game because, well, not much land can do. The distance to the opponent's side is pretty great, and not many places where you can sneak around, so it's easy for your opponent to scout your moves and block your incursion at the choke points. Whereas if you build air factories, you do have a lot of maneuverability around the map, and with these long walking distances for the engineers, a bomber or two can really delay your opponent's expansion. Now we see Tagada going with second air after building the Hydro and 4 P-gens. JaggedAppliance building an air factory and a land factory at the same time. He's not really interested in going double air, I guess, at least not at the moment. Let's see what Tagada has planned. He's going to build a land factory here as well, but a second air factory very soon. You can see it's been queued up. Mantis out for Tagada, and he's going to scout this mech marine, or I'm sorry, Selen. I apologize. Seraphim don't have mech marines, FYI. And JaggedAppliance now heading down to his bottom right expansion. Selen on the way for JaggedAppliance, kind of to see the movement of Tagada's expanding NGs. And maybe he can camp out here on one of these resource points and prevent an engineer from building. Tagada with his second air factory up now. Is JaggedAppliance working on any air factories? No, he's going to go heavy land. Could work if Tagada really doesn't pay attention. If Tagada realizes late that JaggedAppliance is going to go full on spam, he might find it difficult to defend against pressure. Some pressure on one of his expansions without more land factories. He does have 3 land factories, however. I don't think he'll have much trouble, to be honest. It won't be hard for him to scout all these land factories from JaggedAppliance. And there aren't that many either, so it doesn't seem like JaggedAppliance is going to spam, really. There have been games where a player would build just incredible numbers of land factories, and perhaps in anticipation for their opponent's greedy eco strategy, a player or two has found some success going outright spam on this map. Transports out for Tagada now. Engineers in tow, heading to his top left expansion. JaggedAppliance has some strong land coverage defending his expanding engineers, but Tagada not really capitalizing on his easy air victory here. You could have at least built a couple bombers, noticing that JaggedAppliance has no second air factory. He could have done some damage to JaggedAppliance's expanding engineers, but mostly looks like Tagada is aiming to do transport drops. But JaggedAppliance's raiding tanks is making that difficult for Tagada, and that's big for JaggedAppliance. Now Tagada does still have a couple of engineers in that transport. He's not going to be too delayed in getting this expansion up and running, if at all. Now, the land factories for JaggedAppliance might pay off soon here. Tagada doesn't have much of a land presence on his top left expansion, but JaggedAppliance has several tanks on his doorstep, on Tagada's front door. Neither player really upgrading any mechs at the moment. No, Tagada quarter done with his upgrade. JaggedAppliance actually halfway done with his first mechs upgrade. So after that initial skirmish over here, things looking to calm down a bit, or perhaps I spoke too soon. JaggedAppliance with some troop movement over here. He has stepped over the territorial boundary. Oh no, he's actually retreating now. It doesn't seem like he's really going to commit to anything. JaggedAppliance yet to build a second air factory. It can get a little dangerous if Tagada chooses to go Tech 2 Air. He has 3 air factories. Compared to Jagged's 1, Tagada can really do some damage if he builds Tech 2 gunships, or even Corsairs. So far, no such movement from Tagada. Some minor skirmishes happening over here. JaggedAppliance attempting to take out this mechs, but this tank gets alone. Not going to do much over here. Tagada not paying attention to this top left mechs. JaggedAppliance has parked a Cellen there, and that's going to deprive Tagada of +2 mass income. Who knows for how long. Tagada with a substantial wing of fighters right now, and now he's gonna upgrade his Tech 2 air factory. Gunship's probably gonna be on the way soon. Both players with similar eco. JaggedAppliance with his Tech 2 mechs complete, and same for Tagada. Tagada working on 2 Tech 2 mechs at once, and now JaggedAppliance has finished his second Tech 2 mechs, working on his third. For the most part, a pretty calm game with some skirmishes here and there. Not much really has been accomplished for either player in terms of map control. They've really just taken their half of the map, and that tends to happen with Desert Planet. It's easy to reach your expansions and pretty difficult to make any incursion into your opponent's expansion due to these choke points. So Desert Planet games tend to become eco fests. There's some opportunity for some gunship aggression here, though. So let's take a look and see what Tagada does with his Tech 2 air factory. He's going to build some gunships. JaggedAppliance in anticipation builds Tech 2 flak. It seems that he already is aware that gunships are a threat. Perhaps he's sniffed out the 3 air factories early on. I wasn't able to see if JaggedAppliance was able to scout that. And Tagada making a move for the center. He does have a decent number of mantis here. And JaggedAppliance on the periphery with his tanks, not really putting up much of a fight. Both players playing very conservatively, we can see. JaggedAppliance forming a front with his tanks. Scouts out for Tagada, several in fact. And I don't know what he sees right now from JaggedAppliance. Tagada actually sees that JaggedAppliance has upgraded several mexes already. You can tell by the darkened hue of the Tech 1 mexes. Without even scouting, you can sort of tell that your opponent is upgrading his mexes. Of course, there is that tiny chance that your opponent is trying to handicap himself by destroying his Tech 1 mexes, but somewhat unlikely. Tagada, we can see, is a little bit behind now in mex count, Tech 2 mex count, and he actually had a blunder here, sending his mantis into a whole line of tanks. JaggedAppliance suffering very few casualties here, and scoring quite a bit of reclaim on the top left side. And not to mention JaggedAppliance is slowly inching his way down towards this peripheral mechs of Tagada. With a couple of arties, he might be able to take this mechs out. And JaggedAppliance, very, very minor map control lead here, I think. Except for the middle here where Tagada's ACU is. I think JaggedAppliance has advanced a little too much for Tagada's comfort now. And Tagada spending a lot of resources building those gunships, still not really utilizing them to their potential. We see that JaggedAppliance is putting a lot of build power into that air factory, though, however, I think Tagada still has more fighters considering he built 3 air factories. So he has 35 interceptors. JaggedAppliance with 30, so JaggedAppliance catching up now. Tagada really has to make use of those gunships, and he sure does. He does block this raid from JaggedAppliance, so it turns out this top left incursion from JaggedAppliance really ending up being not much at all, giving Tagada some reclaim for himself. On the bottom right, probably gunships are headed to the bottom right as well, where there's little air coverage, no flak, just a couple of Tech 1 mobile anti-air. Here there is a flak, however. Tagada has to be careful with these gunships. They're going to take a lot of damage from this flak, though there is only a single flak. Tagada losing only 1 gunship, but these gunships are weakened. And JaggedAppliance going heavy on land still. A big air engagement here near the center on JaggedAppliance's side. He has 3 flak to support his fighters, and even though Tagada still having parity with his interceptor count, I think he is forced out due to the flak. And now JaggedAppliance should not have pursued, I think. He should have stayed where his interceptors were safe, and Tagada, with some proper maneuvering, I think has gained the upper hand once again with his interceptor count. A lot of reclaim here in the middle now from continued skirmishing, whether it's in the air or on the ground. But Tagada with the initiative with this transport for reclaiming those wrecks, but he's repairing his transport, which is, I think, just as good a use of time for those NGs as anything, I suppose. JaggedAppliance working on upgrading his mexes continuously. Tagada not too far behind. He's putting a lot of rigor into catching up with his Tech 2 mex count. In terms of reclaim, though. JaggedAppliance has access to this reclaim. Tagada does have access to a lot of interceptor reclaim, I think, over here. But there's no engineers nearby. That's the problem. Or, I'm sorry, this is JaggedAppliance's side. This is Tagada's side. I don't know if I misspoke. So, JaggedAppliance with some engineers headed towards that reclaim field now. Making... Yeah, so Tagada, or JaggedAppliance does have several Ilshis heading towards the middle, and JaggedAppliance really doesn't have the means to defend, so he's going to be pushed out of here from the mid, and he's not going to be able to completely take all of this reclaim. So Tagada being forced out, JaggedAppliance pushing forward. So many Ilshis for JaggedAppliance. In fact, it's going to get a little bit dangerous for Tagada here on the bottom right expansion. And with the middle secure, JaggedAppliance is able to cut through down this ramp towards Tagada's top left expansion. But JaggedAppliance not making a move yet. He can really score big if he just heads down to the left side. No resistance here whatsoever, just Mantis against a whole horde of Ilshis. This isn't the best place for JaggedAppliance to be, I think, right now. While he can do quite a number on Tagada's front line, considering Tagada has his ACU here, along with some point defense, I think JaggedAppliance might encounter a little bit too much resistance. He still has that opportunity to cut through to the left side. He can leave probably several Ilshi here to prevent any counterattack from Tagada and send the rest of his forces down to the left and maybe even secure this expansion. Tagada really on his back foot right now. Yeah, Jagged really should stop putting pressure here. Bricks are going to be coming out here soon for Tagada. And okay, so one Ilshi, maybe that's all he needs, one Ilshi. Take out these mexes on the left. Now, Tagada is concentrating most of his eco on these bottom expansion, on this bottom expansion, so looks like he won't really lose much by losing these mexes, but it'll be a pretty big deal if he loses this position. He's gonna have a lot of ground to cover, but JaggedAppliance not really committing to occupying this space. It's a big opportunity here for JaggedAppliance, but that said, Jagged does appear to have the lead all the same at the moment. He's upgrading to Tech 3 in response to Tagada's Tech 3 land factory. Tagada has access to some reclaim here, though it's contested. So maybe he doesn't have access after all. Maybe this is JaggedAppliance's reclaim field. This expansion is just so open, and I don't know, maybe JaggedAppliance knows something I don't. After all, Tagada does have Tech 3 land. He could easily transport and defend on the left side, but boy, if he had concentrated more of his forces here with all these Ilshi earlier, it would have been trouble for Tagada to take back this expansion, especially if JaggedAppliance dropped some engineers here and started fortifying the position. Tech 2 transports out for Tagada, so JaggedAppliance has to be careful here. If Tagada drops a brick over here on the top side, this expansion is very vulnerable. Tech 2 power generator and a few Tech 2 mexes here up for grabs. And in the middle, JaggedAppliance is skirmishing with Tagada's bricks now, and that's going to be trouble. Tagada is going to easily be able to push JaggedAppliance out of the middle position. A lot of reclaim to take here due to JaggedAppliance lingering in the space. And a little bit too late, JaggedAppliance starts putting pressure on Tagada's left expansion, but that's really all it's going to end up being, is a little bit of pressure. He's not going to succeed in taking this expansion for himself, as he would have been able to do earlier on. And Tagada jumping at this opportunity, he's completely wiped out JaggedAppliance's army here, and that's really devastating for JaggedAppliance. And Tagada's going to be able to take this right expansion almost entirely without resistance. And on the left side, some rhinos to defend against the Ilshis. While the rhinos themselves aren't enough to push these Ilshis back, Tagada with a nice drop, dropping 2 bricks, and these should do the trick. Ultimately, this is going to end up being more reclaim for Tagada. Oh man, all of this reclaim going into Tagada's coffers. And so what is Tagada going to do now? Is he going to upgrade mexes? He's going to use that mass boon to build more bricks. Let's see how he's doing in terms of eco. Yeah, he does have quite a bit of surplus. Doesn't have enough build power, it seems, to spend all of his new income. We can see that JaggedAppliance still has more mass collected overall, despite Tagada having all these reclaim fields to himself. But this is a recent development, so once Tagada reclaims all of this and all of this, I think we're gonna see a real change in mass collected here in this score. But Tagada really does have to scale up his build power right now. He's got to be able to spend all of this mass and take advantage. That said, he is in a very comfortable position, even without full production capacity. He's taken over JaggedAppliance's expansion on the right side with a couple NGs dropped here to take these mexes as well. He has 4 bricks to defend against JaggedAppliance's Othams, and the Othams are streaming in now, and he does have a couple sniper bots to support them, so Tagada is going to have to be careful with those bricks. He has a Tech 2 transport with a couple of bricks. They've been targeted by JaggedAppliance's interceptors, so he's got to drop them fast. Once these bricks join up with the rest here on the front line, Tagada should have a comfortable number to keep these Othams at bay, even with those sniper bots. Those sniper bots do take a long time to complete their work, really. They do a lot of damage, but they're not able to... They're not really able to maybe fight in close combat, so if Tagada presses forward with these bricks, JaggedAppliance is going to have to retreat. But Tagada, I don't think he's gonna push the issue here. He is sort of retreating. If you look at the troop movement, it looks like he doesn't want to engage. JaggedAppliance might be able to take back this position. Tagada with a Tech 3 mix now, so with all that reclaim, he's looking to strengthen his eco position. But JaggedAppliance has been working on a Tech 3 mix himself. He has a Tech 3 mix already, as you can see. Working on Tech 3 air now. So Tagada has got to pay heed to that Tech 3 air factory. With JaggedAppliance taking back his right expansion, and Tagada for some reason not being able to hold don't know, his gains earlier on. Yeah, that was a very brief moment that Tagada took this right expansion, and he doesn't really have much to show for it. Ultimately, JaggedAppliance take that position back, and I think that could be because he didn't have the build power to, I guess, reinforce his bricks as much. Instead, he sort of spent his mass upgrading to Tech 3 mexes. I think Tagada does have more mass overall because of that huge reclaim field he had over here. He's able to get a jump. He's able to jump ahead of JaggedAppliance in eco. So while he did lose this position, he's able to strengthen his eco lead, or he's able to gain a eco lead. And nice brick drop over here, but yeah, that's not going to do much. JaggedAppliance with a free brick to reclaim for himself. And this aggression from Tagada, I'm not sure if it's going to be able to do much. JaggedAppliance has a very strong ACU in position to offer resistance. Not to mention, JaggedAppliance does have Tech 3 air, so if push comes to shove, he's going to be able to build maybe some gunships or a strat or two to be able to take out these bricks, but that's not going to be necessary. JaggedAppliance, no problem cleaning up these bricks, and he may even be able to regain his eco lead with that mass donation from Tagada. A huge interceptor cloud from Tagada here, but even with that many inties, eventually JaggedAppliance is going to be able to get the air lead since he has Tech 3 air. Tagada, I don't know if he hasn't noticed JaggedAppliance's ASFs, but Tagada has not started an air factory or Tech 3 air upgrade. This is pretty inadvisable. Tagada really... Okay, never mind. I think he knows what he's doing. So Tagada does have Tech 3 NGs. He's going to build a Tech 3 power plant before he starts building ASFs. I don't know why I said... so he does need that Tech 3 power generator first before he's able to support ASF, so that's appropriate. JaggedAppliance has 2 Tech 3 power generators, so even if Tagada finishes his Tech 3 power plant now, if he were to even finish it instantly, he'd still be way behind on air. He has to do something now because JaggedAppliance is going to be able to quickly regain an eco lead here. How much reclaim did Tagada leave? Quite a lot, at least 3,000. Already a strat bomber out for JaggedAppliance. He's going to really take advantage of that air lead. Not going to waste any time getting that strat bomber out. He has a couple of targets here. Scarcely defended by Tagada. No Tech 3 air on the way as of yet. JaggedAppliance should really use that strat bomber now, and I think he's going to be able to get an insurmountable lead if he does that now. All these Tech 2 mexes in jeopardy for Tagada, but JaggedAppliance, I don't know what he's targeting. Targeting a few engineers, not really a efficient use of that strat bomber. There's a couple of targets I'm thinking of right now on the left side. JaggedAppliance, throughout this entire game, being very passive towards the left. He's just not interested in this expansion, I guess, for one reason or another. Despite it having quite a bit of value. Could have used that strat bomber 5 minutes ago to take out every single one of these mexes, but another strat bomber out. JaggedAppliance has an obsession with this choke point. He's supporting everything he's got with his strat bombers over here at in the heading towards the bottom right expansion of Tagada. But this time, it kind of looks like Jagged does have enough to break through without really Tagada's bricks being able to do much. Jagged has so many sniper bots now. They've sort of reached a critical mass, and Jagged has been able to invest a lot of his eco into these units. And Tagada, for some reason, just not keeping up with the production. A bit puzzling. After all, he does have quite a lot of mass collected compared to JaggedAppliance. I think Tagada is just focusing on building Tech 3 mexes, and JaggedAppliance being a little bit more conservative with his mex upgrades, able to invest a lot more into units, and JaggedAppliance quickly learning that Tagada's defenses are quite soft here on the bottom right expansion, feeling that Tagada is collapsing with minimal pressure. JaggedAppliance pushes forward a little bit more aggressively now. And Tagada with a counterattack above towards JaggedAppliance's top left expansion, but oh my goodness, JaggedAppliance going right for the throat, taking out Tagada's Tech 3 power generator. And now he's targeted this Tech 3 land factory, completely obliterates it in one pass. Oh my goodness, in one fell swoop it looks like JaggedAppliance has claimed the victory here. There's really no coming back from that one. Tagada right now is blaming his hotkeys. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. JaggedAppliance having an advantage all game because Tagada's hotkeys were broken. So well played by JaggedAppliance. It was happening gradually, but somehow JaggedAppliance, I don't know, jumped ahead of Tagada within minutes. Not quite sure when it happened. Tagada probably spending too much mass on building Tech 3 mexes. I think he expected Jagged to play a little bit more passively. Perhaps JaggedAppliance surprised him by breaking through this choke point. I think Tagada relied too much on this choke point. He overestimated his defenses. He did have quite a few bricks there, but JaggedAppliance with those sniper bots, knowing that, clearly sensing that Tagada was weak, started pressuring on the bottom right expansion with strat bombers to support. And it really was, I think Tagada made a big mistake by not building more land units, investing too much into Tech 3 mexes. Yeah, that's a big mistake to make at any point in the game. Ecoing too much, you'll be a pushover when the opponent comes in with his army. And I think that was the big one. That was the big mistake from Tagada here. Otherwise, well-played game. He was able to make some strong moves here he had a Tech 3 land initiative, but he really didn't use his Tech 2 drops the way Tech 2 transports to their full potential. He had bricks very early on, could have dropped a couple locations easily, but instead he sort of started raiding JaggedAppliance's right side. JaggedAppliance curiously able to defend fairly easily if Tagada had reinforced his Tech 3 land a little bit better with the mass boon he received over here on the left side. If he timed if he had more build power, if he had maybe double his brick force, he would have maintained this position a little bit better. And I think that with a couple more, maybe with several Corsairs, he would have had no problem dealing with the sniper bots. JaggedAppliance didn't have Tech 3 air by then. At that point, Tagada with Tech 2 land and plenty of mass, he could have built some Corsairs, kept his bricks here easily, And maybe if he had slowed down on building his Tech 3 mexes, still building Tech 3 mexes, but maybe at a slower pace, he could have maintained this position better. JaggedAppliance did make a few blunders in this game, especially giving up so much mass over here. But ultimately, Tagada not capitalizing. So, well played by JaggedAppliance. Strong play from start to finish. But Tagada in the late game struggling a little bit. And alright, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next cast. See you guys later.